The game of wealth and the illusion of intelligence. 1. Intelligence is overrated. People love to believe wealth belongs to the smart, the clever, the credentialed, the chosen few who speak in graphs and glide through conference rooms. But let's be honest, if intelligence alone produced wealth, universities would be full of billionaires and the janitors cleaning them would be broke philosophers. The truth is more Machiavellian. Fortune doesn't reward brilliance, it rewards boldness. Machiavelli wrote that fortune is a woman, favoring those who act with audacity, not those who overthink their timing. So what does that actually mean? It means the world pays motion, not contemplation. Wealth, like war, favors the strategist over the scholar. You can have 3 PhDs and still starve if you never deploy what you know. Meanwhile, someone with average intelligence but relentless execution will lap you financially. Strategy eats intellect for breakfast, and usually doesn't bother doing the dishes. Most smart people lose because they mistake analysis for progress. They keep forecasting storms instead of sailing the ship. The overthinker waits for perfect certainty, the strategist simply checks the wind and moves. In a world obsessed with looking smart, the true advantage lies in acting early, learning fast, and failing publicly. Because action compounds, theory collects dust. Footnote. Intelligence without execution is not wisdom, it's just a well-spoken delay. 2. Strategic patience and the use of time. Wealth doesn't grow in a straight line. It hides, gathers strength, and then erupts, usually right after you've nearly given up. That's the cruel joke of compounding, it rewards endurance, not enthusiasm. Most people think effort equals income. They want instant feedback, instant progress, and instant applause. But the economy doesn't work like social media, there's no like button for patience. The work you do today might not pay you this year. It might not even pay you next year. So what does that actually mean? It means if you quit early, you forfeit the future that was quietly accruing interest behind your back. The disciplined man doesn't demand constant validation. He understands that silence is not failure, it's incubation. Machiavelli would have called it tactical restraint, letting time do the heavy lifting while others panic. Here's the irony, those who rush rarely win. They burn their stamina chasing early proof. The ones who can delay gratification become dangerous. Because patience, in strategy, is not passive. It's predatory. When competitors get anxious, they overextend. They take dumb risks for quick results. That's when the patience strike. Control of time is control of outcome. You can't beat someone who refuses to hurry. And wealth? It's less about making money than about buying time. Savings are not trophies, they're ammunition. A reserve fund isn't there to make you rich. It's there to keep you calm while you play a longer game. You can't act like a king if you're worried about groceries. Footnote. Patience is not waiting, it's weaponized timing. 3. The economics of value and the myth of hard work. Everyone's told that money follows hard work. It doesn't. If it did, construction workers would own Wall Street, and billionaires would have calloused hands. The harsh truth is that effort is cheap, value is rare. Wealth doesn't chase motion, it chases usefulness. The man who solves a $1 problem earns $1. The one who solves a $1 million problem earns proportionately more. So what does that actually mean? It means the shovelers of dirt work harder than the sellers of shovels, but only one of them gets rich. Machiavelli observed that reputation can achieve more than armies. In modern terms, status is leverage. People pay for perception as much as performance. Excellence isn't just what you do, it's what the world believes you can do. And that belief compounds. When you're truly competent, you don't need to chase clients. You become gravity. Opportunity orbits around demonstrated value. The market doesn't reward the loudest voice, it rewards the clearest solution. But excellence demands consistency. It's not glamorous. It's repetitive, isolating, and often invisible. The truly great spend years being ignored before they appear overnight. That's why so few endure long enough to be called lucky. Here's the real paradox: the better you get, the less you have to prove. Competence buys freedom. In the end, the market doesn't care how inspired you feel. It cares whether you deliver results that make other people's lives easier. Footnote: hard work is honorable, but only leverage turns sweat into wealth. 4. The psychology of comparison and the trap of envy. Envy is poverty with better lighting. It tricks the mind into auditing someone else's fortune while neglecting your own potential. Machiavelli would call it an amateur's distraction, a mental tax that drains power faster than failure ever could. Comparison isn't just corrosive, it's strategically fatal. When you measure your worth by another's gain, you lose twice, first in focus, then in momentum. So what does that actually mean? It means you stop steering your ship because you're too busy staring at another captain's sails. In business and in life, resentment clouds judgment. A good deal can look bad if your ego insists on symmetry. Many men walk away from partnerships that would have made them rich simply because someone else might earn more. That's not ethics, that's emotional vanity disguised as fairness. The wealthy rarely count other people's pockets. They're too busy counting territory. Power expands, it doesn't compete. The king builds new land, the peasant debates who deserves his bread. And here's the hidden punchline: the obsession with fairness is often just envy wearing a moral suit. The world isn't fair. It's functional. And function, not fairness, decides who rises. In the end, scrolling through others' highlight reels will never replace 1 hour of building your own. Focus is currency. Spend it poorly, and you'll stay broke, even with talent. Footnote: envy produces no wealth, only arithmetic, subtraction from yourself. 5. Shame, status, and the discipline of starting small. There is no disgrace in starting small, only in staying small because you refuse to begin. Yet pride convinces many to protect their image instead of their future. Machiavelli would laugh at that sort of vanity. He knew that those afraid to serve would never rule. Low-status work is the tuition for high-status mastery. Every empire starts in the mud, the only difference is who keeps digging. So what does that actually mean? It means humility is not weakness, it's camouflage. You blend into the trenches until you've built enough skill to rise above them. The early stages of wealth are humiliating. You'll answer to others, make mistakes in public, and probably eat rejection for breakfast. But while the proud hesitate, the humble accumulate. Pride preserves ego. Humility accumulates options. There's an art to enduring embarrassment. The man who can fail publicly and continue privately becomes nearly unstoppable. Because nothing the world says about him can touch what he's already said to himself and survived. Modern culture worships comfort and optics. But comfort builds fragility. Every step toward strength begins with one act of public vulnerability. Power doesn't grow from perfection, it grows from persistence under scrutiny. So laugh at your own awkward beginnings. Everyone starts as an apprentice. The difference is that the wise stay teachable long after they start teaching. Footnote: pride protects the ego, humility builds the empire. 6. The law of risk, delay, and strategic survival. Risk is the rent you pay for freedom. Play it too safe, and you'll end up renting your time forever. Machiavelli noted that all actions carry danger, so prudence is not avoiding risk, it's selecting the ones you can survive. Most people misunderstand this. They believe safety lies in employment, in predictable paychecks, in never rocking the boat. But safety, ironically, is often the most dangerous strategy of all. So what does that actually mean? It means the man who never risks collapse also never achieves escape velocity. Fortune, as the Florentine cynic said, favors boldness. Yet boldness doesn't mean blind leaps, it means calculated aggression. The strategist doesn't gamble, he engineers asymmetry. He risks what he can afford to lose to gain what others don't see as available. Here's the cruel humor of the game: wealth comes in waves, not trickles. You might endure years of drought, then experience a flood so violent it rewrites your life. The weak drown in that flood because they never prepared. The disciplined store water during the famine, waiting for the storm they know must come. Savings, in this sense, are not about greed, they're about oxygen. Cash is patience materialized. When you can survive long enough without begging, you can plan like a king. Without that buffer, you're just a talented pawn waiting to be captured. The secret is endurance. The longer you can stay alive in obscurity, the more likely fortune will eventually trip over you. The market rewards the man who refuses to die quietly. Footnote: risk doesn't destroy empires, impatience does. 7. Power, perception, and the economics of action. Power today isn't granted, it's performed. People no longer ask, "Are you right?" They ask, "Do you look like you know what you're doing?" Machiavelli warned that men judge more by the eye than by the hand, and modern society proves him right every minute. Perception, not proof, drives attention, and attention, in turn, drives economics. So what does that actually mean? It means confidence is often the down payment on credibility. Appear calm, deliver value, and the world begins to rewrite your resume for you. The wealthy understand this instinctively. They act first, then justify later. Their certainty hypnotizes the hesitant. Their motion attracts resources that stillness never could. Action, therefore, isn't just productivity, it's persuasion. Here's the unspoken rule: you don't need to be the smartest, you need to be the most visible executor. Money flows to heat, not potential. The man who stays in motion outpaces the one who endlessly prepares. And yet, beneath all this theater, substance still matters. Pretend too long without producing and the illusion collapses. Machiavelli would call this the decay of reputation, when the mask eats the man. To prevent that, pair confidence with consistency. Do the work, even when the spotlight moves on. Especially then. The modern prince of business isn't the genius or the fraud, he's the one who survives the longest between the two. Because power, like wealth, doesn't belong to the most brilliant, it belongs to the last one standing with momentum. Footnote: appear capable until you are, then keep proving it until everyone forgets they ever doubted you.